guys, Alden back for another Pagan Perspective video. I'm so excited to be back. I know it's been 2 weeks. You guys have been enjoying the great quality sub-host that we have, and I am so excited to finally be back on the Pagan Perspective. I know it's been a number of years. It's a great celebration. The Pagan Perspective has been around for so long. So many other channels have come and gone, and the Pagan Perspective seems to be the strong pillar still here as part of the pagan community here on the Pagan Perspectives. I am honored to be a part of such a eclectic group of talented people, and I only expect to see way more things to come from the Pagan Perspective and everyone's individual channels. I'm just excited to see what is to come of that. This week's topic this week's topic is kind of a two-pronged topic. It's two questions, really. The first question, I've done a similar video for in the past, but I don't think I've ever gone like in depth and talked about different aspects of it, so I'm going to touch on that as well. It also has a part of the question that talks about the Sephora witch kit that came out, or was going to come out, but was pretty much stopped by a very strong concerted effort by many pagans and witches alike who didn't want to see that come out. So I'm going to tackle both of those, so stay tuned. And then at the end of the video, I'm going to have a bit of a shameless plug. I'm going to talk about an evolution of a project that I started 2 weeks ago and where it is now. So without further ado, let's tackle the first question, which revolves around different items that in the past people would actually make themselves, but now in this new world, people are just buying them on Etsy, buying them on Amazon. Perhaps they're getting them from a friend, and the idea is these ritualistic items such as athames, cauldrons, and things of that nature. Is there an energetic difference? Does it matter to your practice and spell work if you buy an athame from Amazon.com or what have you, right? And the way I feel about this, I feel like magic is very fluid about the world that you live in. We live in a world today where you can pick up your phone and go to Walmart or Amazon.com and have an athame at your door tomorrow. That is still an energetic exchange if you look at it from the basic principles of magic and just the basic principles of physics. When you open up that phone and you tap, I want to buy this athame, or I want to buy this cauldron, or this altar cloth, or this altar, you are exchanging money, and money is energy. Money is, in most cases, your life force. I mean, people work 12, 13, 14 hours a day. They work hard. We give our lives to all these companies. So when you exchange your life forces, your energy for this money, and then you pour it into this item that you want, it's kind of a big commitment. You're saying, hey, I value this item more than I value my life force, if that makes any sense. And that is a huge energetic exchange. Now that item is now directly linked to a portion of you because you've given up literally some of your life for it. Now, if it's a hand-me-down from like a friend or a family member, it has absorbed energy from that friend, that family member, and it's still kind of holy in that way. Now, with that aspect of the question aside, what do you do with items that you do buy from Amazon if you feel like they need to be more tuned to your energies, more tuned to who you are? Well, there's people in different types of practices where they'll use their own semen, they'll use their own blood, they'll use their own menstrual blood to anoint these items to make them lock on or mesh with their own energy bodies in their chakras. There are people who do this. I've done this in the past. It's just a way of canceling out the energies that went into the manufacturing process, right? If you look at some of these athames, if you look at some of these cauldrons and things, a lot of them are made in other countries. Sometimes these countries are known to be sweatshops, child labor, right? It's kind of well known when you buy these items, you really need to clear them. Some people clear them by burying them inside of a box in the ground for several days. Some people let them sit in the sun and let the sun bake them and cleanse them of their energy. Depending on the material, some people will take it and lay it in running water, some kind of creek or something, to let the cleansing energies of Mother Nature cleanse that item, right? I personally, whenever I go to a witchy store and I pick up a crystal or some jewelry or something like that, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and I'll put my own energy into the item and I'll charge it with the intent. And sometimes I've gotten quite some interesting feedback. My wand that I purchased, I actually purchased from a wand maker website, and I got really bad feelings from the wand. I don't know if it was made under sweatshop conditions or something like that, but it felt like it wasn't mine. I put my energy into it and I still didn't get a direct favorable energy from the wand. But after I anointed it with some of my body fluid, I won't talk about which one because some of that is a little taboo, but it could have been blood, could have been semen, could have been spit. Anything that comes from your body is very holy and contains your essence, as it were. And once I anointed it with this mystery body fluid, the Athame literally felt way more welcoming, way more ready to work with me. So sometimes energy isn't enough. Sometimes the body fluid can be used to anoint these things, and they will kind of bend to your will and work better with you. So that is how I would deal with items. To me, it doesn't matter nowadays if you build them or not. Now, if you do build them, if you have that skill, I will say that there's a different caliber of energy that is going to be contained within the item, just because you know the ins and out of that item, and it's kind of your baby in a way. But I don't think it's at all something that you must do. You know, the earlier methods that I mentioned are more than adequate to make that item work within your own personal practice. The second part of the question, talking about the Sephara Witch Kit, I feel like that's a missed opportunity. I know that there's a lot of people who feel like we live in this new world of cultural appropriation. People are taking the pagan culture, people are taking the witch culture. You see all these shows, these movies and things, and they're trying to make so much money off of this. And that is one aspect, that's true. We do live in a capitalistic society. Capitalism is about separating people from their money, but usually providing them with something that the person thinks they need or want. With the Sephara Witch Kit, even though it didn't have the best quality images, it didn't have the best quality tarot cards, it still began to move people into paganism. And before you shake your head and disagree with me, I just want you to understand the context of what Sephara is. Sephara was actually the first cosmetic store in the world to allow women to come in and try the products first. That's big, guys. That's huge. That means that they have women's rights, women's ideals at the core of who they are, right? So you take a company who stepped out there and said, I'm going to do this for women first. And then they say, I want to bring in pagan-based items into my store. That means that they were going to bring up a whole lot more things going forward. It's my opinion, and I'm not always right. I mean, I'm not perfect, but my opinion is that if we had allowed them to produce that Sephara Witch Kit, it would have opened up a dialogue, guys. If you had thrown more positive things towards Sephara, they might have listened to you guys, and they might have produced another pagan-based item that was kind of a collaboration from one of the people that we look up to in the pagan community or in the witch community. Somebody who may have published half a dozen books, someone who may have practiced for 30, 40 years, someone that could put their name and their authority into these products. I mean, honestly, if you really want to look at it, Kat Von D, I don't want to call her out because she's an amazing person, and she's gone through a lot of stuff on YouTube and a lot of stuff personally and things, but Kat Von D has a lot of makeup palettes that kind of have pagan and witchy names on them. We didn't jump down her throat. If you see what I'm saying? It's kind of weird how we pick and choose the things that we want to jump in and like kill people for, or like counsel. It's this whole new counsel culture. You want to counsel stuff. It's just crazy to me. It's just too much, and I think the grand scheme of things, we would have had fresh pagans or people who picked up their first tarot deck, and now their ancestors, now their spirit guides are speaking to them. Hey, I know you're going through something at school. Why don't you pick up those cards? It could have been a small whisper in their ear. Now you would have had fresh pagans coming over. And I know some of you may be saying, well, these people aren't real pagans. They aren't real pagans. Who are you to say that they aren't a real pagan? I've had personal conversations with my spirit guides. They've told me how hard it was to get me to come over to the side of paganism. Christianity is very strong, right? I have a really, really good friend who I love dearly, and she has some gifts. She has some real spiritual gifts, but Christianity has caused her to turn her back on those gifts. This witch kit could have been the beginning of having young people who were looking for a alternative to Christianity, it could have allowed them to flood into paganism. And if you're watching this video, of course that witch kit looks pathetic to you. Of course it doesn't look like it's up to par. You guys are veterans probably. You've probably read 30, 40 books on paganism. You've probably been a part of several covens in your life. You probably have an Etsy store. I'm not talking to you. Now I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to call you out now. If that is who you are, it's your responsibility to educate those new pagans. That's what YouTube is for, right? It's sharing information. You're supposed to be the one that comes to those pagans, holds those pagans' hand and say, hey, A, B, and C is okay, but you could do it a little better. Why don't you come to one of my open circles and we can work together on how we do things, right? That's what we're supposed to be open, right? We're not supposed to be, scaring people off and running them around. I know that we're supposed to, be silent about our things, but we live in this world where there's plenty of people who write blogs. The people who wrote the books, those half a dozen books I mentioned earlier, those people weren't silent. They spoke about Sabbaths, they spoke about rituals, they spoke about color correspondence. We can't always be silent, guys. And I just say that to say that I think we missed opportunity of having young women and men coming to paganism, and I think it would only make our case stronger. I'm hoping that one day we can have a pagan person who is in office. One of the females who was running for president made a pagan statement about trying to wheel the hurricane away. I have personal experience with sending energy toward hurricanes to actually make them move away. I know this is probably the first time I've spoken about this on the Pagan Perspective, but I have personal experience with that. I know that that works for certain people. When she said that, she had my attention. But you know what she did? She backed down. She erased the tweet, and she basically turned it around to kind of fit Christian ideals. The reason why is because there are not enough pagans out there. She's worried that she's going to lessen her chances of becoming president. Folks, if we had allowed the Sephora Witch Kit to be out, there's a good chance that a lot of pagans who are of age to vote could have let their voices be known to help this candidate. And please forgive me, I don't know her name right now. If I find it after my editing, I'll post it down below. And that's about all I have to say about these two topics, because I feel like I'm going very, very long into it. And you know me, I don't want to keep you here all day. I know you guys have got things to do. I know you've got jobs. I know you've got kids and stuff you want to take care of. I don't want to keep you here, but I do want to segue over into my project, right? 2 weeks ago, I told you guys that I had started a podcast, and I'm pleased to announce that that podcast is now on the Apple Store. It's available and it is there, and we're trying very hard on getting this podcast into the Google Play Store as well. So look for it there. I'm going to post a link down below. You can find the podcast on kaijukrew.com. That's Kaiju crew.com. Again, down below, but look for it in your Apple Podcast app. We're also on Spreaker. And then what connects this to another part of my project is now I'm actually, because you've been noticing I've been in a different place almost every week. I've been basically doing a lot of traveling. I've been trying to get certain deals set up to announce our newest project, and my personal newest project for the Tech Shaman is I've actually got a system where I can allow people's voice to be heard. I'm all about having diverse backgrounds and letting people's voice be heard. If you saw my original Pagan Perspective audition, I mentioned that I wanted to see voices of all different backgrounds. When trying to start a podcast, one of the things that jumps in the way is money, right? Who can afford a switchboard? Who can afford a $400 mic? By the time you go to a recording studio, if you're really serious about it, it can be thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of dollars an hour to even get involved in that. That's way too much money. I've checked some of the competitors out there. There are people out there who are willing to edit your podcast for $500, $600, $700, $800 a month just to edit your podcast. So when I saw that, I worked very hard on getting these deals set up. We have a virtual podcast system set up, guys, where we come to you. We come to you through your cell phone. We come to you through your tablet. We come to you through your computer. If you've got a decent pair of headphones, we can help you start a podcast. I'm looking for pagans to be into this thing. I'm looking for people who are into politics. Hey, pagan politics. We have been hashing out these deals for a while. What I want to say right now is that we have a coupon code. This coupon code is good for up until the end of 2019. So it's Pagan 19 in all caps. That will actually get you 30% off of any of our monthly plans. And let me tell you, these plans are already lower than the competition, and they're charging just to edit your podcast. We provide recording studio, we provide the editing, and we provide the hosting. It's a one-stop shop, guys. One price, one-stop shop. That coupon code is Pagan19, all caps. This is an amazing deal. If you know someone who wants to have their voice heard, do not let them pass this up. This is something that's going to be really, really big for people who thought that they would never be able to have their voice heard. Now you can. You can be in the comfort of your own home and have a co-host who's halfway around the world. That's how we set this thing up, guys. You can have 4 hosts and 1 person that you're going to interview all over the world. I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'll segue over to our next project, which again is loosely connected to that. It's a Halloween ball. If you're in the Washington DC area, if you're in Northern Virginia area, I invite you guys to come out to our Halloween ball. I would have called it the Samhain ball, but a lot of people aren't familiar with Samhain. It's kind of a mainstream thing, so everybody is invited. The tickets are actually half off. I've got a special code, BABS. That's BABS, all caps. Tickets are half off. It's going to be at the Dulles Hilton Airport. So if you guys are in the area, come on out. There's going to be a meet and greet. Depending on which package you get a hotel room. There's a party bus that's going to pick you guys up and take you over to Tyson's Corner Mall, so you can have fun there and take you back listening to music. My husband is actually going to be DJing there. He's really, really big into EDM and hip hop music. You guys will love it if that's what you're into. So again, if you know people who are into that, go ahead and share it. Comment down below if you're going to go. I would love to know. And before this video gets too long, I want to thank you guys for watching this video. I want to thank you for even being on the Pagan Perspective. Thank you for being a part of the family of pagans here on the Pagan Perspective, because we're really not that big on Pagan Perspective. I want to see many, many more people involved in our community, and it starts with your voice, guys. If you want to get more people to know about your religion, this is the time. You need a podcast. Podcasts will push your agenda and push your voice out to the world, and it keeps it there for generations to come. Podcasts can last 10, 15 years is what I'm hearing from early projections. So long as the hosting stays up, people will hear your voice and they'll get converted, they'll be informed. It's a great thing. And once again, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching the video, and blessed be.